Being a PlayStation owner in the 90s was great. It was the right choice to make at the time between the PlayStation and the Saturn. Even coming off the back of a Mega Drive, with Sega fanboyism intact, the lineup of games on Sony's machine pulled me over to the dark side. So was I missing out on not owning a Saturn back in the day? Truth be told, even back then I knew I was missing out on some excellent games. Every time I saw a Sega Arcade cabinet with a racing game on the go, I knew it was available for the Saturn. And spending all day in the Mega Bowl playing Daytona USA is a really good way to, when you pop back home, make Ridge Racer run at 50 Hz look like shit. Now years later I'm the proud owner of at least 2 Sega Saturns, one kind of on the blink. But then in 2013 I found the steering wheel peripheral, the Arcade Racer wheel, for £1 in a car boot. So let's check out the Saturn Arcade Racer wheel and see if this wheel helps me relive the glory days of the arcades, or find out if it's just a piece of tat. The arcade racing wheel comes with the start button in the centre, X and Y and Z on the left, and A, B and C on the right, on the front of the self-centering analog wheel, as well as flappy paddles that double up as up and down and L and R. The wheel moves up and down and locks into place, giving you 2 angles you can have it in. There is a lock on the back so you can lock it into place with your preferred angle. So now let's check out all the racing games they have for Saturn and see how this wheel stacks up. First up is Outrun on the Sega Ages collection, and straight away this feels like I'm rich and living in the 90s. Just the look and feel of this wheel gives me that nostalgic buzz, and it works great with this game. A great version of Outrun made all the more authentic with this wheel. Now on to Man XTT. In this game the wheel works well. It is easy to oversteer though, and can take some getting used to. I would still say the Knight's 3D pad is still better to use with this game. On to the next one. Another good one to use with the racing wheel is Virtual Racing. It works great. You'll have to excuse me for being rubbish at the game, but the steering is spot on in this one. So, Sega Rally with the Arcade Racer, and it's a no from me on this game. Yes, it's true I do suck at Sega Rally with a pad, but the wheel really doesn't help me out here. If you were better at the game, and maybe with a bit of practice, this would be okay, but for me it's a no-go. My copy of Daytona USA is knackered and can't get it to work, so the only Daytona I have to test it with is Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition. This one though is a good example of a game that works better with the wheel. The wheel gives the player much more control than the standard controller on this game. A standard stand-up Daytona USA arcade cabinet will cost you over £1,000. The Sega Arcade Racer wheel, however, is about £20 on eBay. Even cheaper if you can find it in the wild. So in conclusion, the Sega Saturn Arcade Racer wheel is great, and a must for any Saturn enthusiast, or anyone who frequented the arcades in the 90s and want to emulate the experience to some extent. Thanks for watching, and farewell.